So, if the question is, are there aliens out there? And, you know, my response, like in terms of aliens in the universe, I mean, I certainly think that there could be, that there are eight, that it's possible for um, for things to be out there. But I think the issue is, well, there's many issues. In terms of are there aliens out there, I think I tend to fall in the camp of that it's probably a very rare thing, and it's very difficult to quantify because, even though for us, the universe, it's so big, right? But maybe, just because the universe is big doesn't mean that, what we think is big is actually big. And so it's possible for, if you understand the observable, what they call the observable universe is, the universe that we can see, right? When we look at the sky, all of the millions, billions, and, billions and billions of galaxies that are made up of millions and millions of stars each. Well, if you look at each, if the entirety, of what we are able to see in the universe, the observable universe is basically, so the light, the way it works is that we only have a certain amount, like light travels at a certain speed, and so we can only observe a certain amount of the universe, and so that's what they call the observable universe. So it's not possible, according to current scientific understanding, it's not possible to see beyond a certain point, and so that's what they call the observable universe. And so what that means is that we, because light, it's not possible for light to travel faster. That's why, it's believed that, the light hasn't traveled to us. So anyway, so the point is, within our observable universe, it's very big. But I think it might be possible that we might be the only life in this observable universe. So there might not be any life anywhere near us. And I think that's possible, and it might seem like, well, that means it's very rare, but maybe not, because maybe there's no way of knowing how big the actual universe is, or maybe what goes beyond that. And so it's possible, I think it's possible that, like, just because to us it seems really big, it might not be big at all. It might just be a tiny infinitesimal. Imagine if, like, the actual universe, okay, so let's say the observable universe is a tiny amount, and the actual universe is like many, many, many times more, like trillions of times more than our observable universe. Perhaps at that scale there might be more, life forms, but for us, it's so far away. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is it's probably very rare, I think. But, on the other hand, I'm still open to the idea, obviously, that there could be more. But I'm just kind of open-minded. But I really do. The reason why I think it's rare is because when you look at, because I really don't, I think that it's very unusual for intelligent life. Maybe I should define it, like for intelligent life, because life forms, very basic life forms might be a little more common, but I feel like intelligent life is probably very unusual. And I just think that there are too many sort of circumstances that are required to have, an environment that is stable enough. And I just feel like most places in our universe, in most of the places within our stars and most planets are, it's very difficult to have everything line up And so I think intelligent life is very rare, although, simpler life forms are probably more common. So that's how I would say it, and I wouldn't be surprised if we're the only intelligent life form right now, or perhaps, in the foreseeable, or within, perhaps within the, I guess, from the what people think it would be kind of the lifespan of our universe, according to current scientific thinking, because they have ideas about how many stars and how long it'll take for the stars to exist. So I just think it's very rare, but I don't know. I'm open to different ideas. I'm curious what you would think, but I think it's rare because because it's difficult to bring everything together, and it's especially intelligent life. And when it's even hard to define intelligence, because if I just think it's rare for anything to be human-like. Maybe we should describe it like that, because I think human-like intelligence is extremely rare, like so rare that, because I just don't think it's to have the combination of the way we move, the way our hands are built, the way our environment, the way we're able to manipulate the environment, the resources we have, all of that. It's a lot of combinations, right combinations, that have to be in one place. And the thing is, in terms of intelligence, there is something about human consciousness that I think goes beyond just intelligence, because intelligence is the ability to think, or the ability to outsmart. But really, what we're talking about with consciousness it's kind of a next step. It's the ability to understand your place in the universe. That's what consciousness kind of is. When I think of human consciousness, I think that's extraordinarily rare, because to have a life form be able to understand what is happening, to have a sense of a timeline, that it doesn't seem like animals have that, in my view. And so, even if there were, we could describe a bird as being very intelligent, right? There are bears are very intelligent, but I don't know that they would have a consciousness similar to ours, where they can understand sort of the timeline. They can understand, they can reason in the same way that we can. Like the ability to, it's kind of like a toddler, right? When you look at a toddler, do you see, the way they're obviously very intelligent. You can teach, young people are very intelligent, but a toddler doesn't really experience the same way that an adult would. They don't understand the world around them the same way, even though they're very intelligent. So I wonder, if that is perhaps something to consider when we're talking about intelligence, and exactly how intelligent something has to be. And so when I think in those conditions around this universe, it would be very unusual to have to need the ability to understand its surrounding, its place in the universe, our ability to understand life and death, right? A bear doesn't understand that. So all of that, those are all things that I would consider to be very unusual, to the point where I wouldn't be surprised if we're the only ones in the observable universe. In our universe, that we can see from the sky, that we might be the only ones, because it's just so rare. And now I will say, in terms of aliens, I also don't think that they would be sort of human-like, because what's even more unusual would be if something were human-like, or that looked like primates, like the way we do. I would think they would look completely different, like nothing perhaps human-like. But even if there was one, right, I think because it's just so unusual to have the combination that we have. And so I really do believe that. I think there is something special to humanity. And so in terms of how common um, that would be, you know, the thing is, I mean, you can ask yourself, just because something, it's all about probabilities, but really, just because something is like, I don't understand why, you know, yes, for us a million is a lot, but maybe for the universe, you know, it's like orders of magnitudes more than a million. And if that were the case, let's say, then it's not, you know, then it's nothing, you know what I mean? Like for us, what is so big might actually be very small, and it might be completely insignificant. Like compare the scales of a cell versus, you know, a scale on a planetary level, right? A larger scale, like a mile. Compare like the tiny cell with a mile. It seems like, you know, a mile seems like a short distance, but for a cell, it's an extremely, you know, like the distances are what, imagine if you were a cell, you know, from a cell's perspective, a large distance would be a very small amount, actually. So that's why when we talk about, you know, wow, how rare something is, I don't think it's even, it might not be quantifiable in that way. And so yeah, so anyway, what do you guys think? And yeah, it's an interesting idea.